My name is Larry.Cathles. I'm a professor in geological sciences at Cornell University. Have been for about the last 28 years or so. Before that, I worked in two companies, Ch.1 Research in California and Kennecott Copper in Massachusetts. And in between those, I was at Penn State for about 5 years doing research on mineral deposits primarily. So I guess what you're interested in is covering a number of topics related to the natural gas resource in our area. And perhaps the first one is to appreciate, as I'm sure you do, that this is a very big and very important and attractive resource. If we talk just about the Marcellus shale, it extends from the sort of middle of New York State on down past West Virginia through Pennsylvania. It's the biggest gas resource in the U.S. and perhaps, well, I don't know about the world, but it's a very large resource. And it's coming from a very thin shale, about 100 feet thick, that has trapped, contains and has trapped and preserved natural gas for something like 200 million years since the natural gas was matured. In terms of the resource itself, a single well would tap, well, an acre, let's put it that way, an acre will contain roughly on average about $30,000 worth of producible gas. One well, 80 acres is $2.5 million or so, 2.4 million. If you put the resource, if you assume that the Marcellus gas is produced over something like 30 years, which is probably a bit fast, probably be longer than that, then the power that you get out per square meter of the surface area is about 1.6 watts per square meter, and that's roughly the same as you could harvest with wind turbines. So in order to have the equivalent of a Marcellus resource with a wind resource, you'd have to cover the entire footprint of the Marcellus with wind turbines, spaced 200 meters apart or 400 meter rows or whatever, the entire area. And then you would produce intermittently about the same resource. Another way to look at it is in terms of, again, over 30 years, if you were to do that production with nuclear reactors, you'd need something like, I think 400 1 gigawatt nuclear reactors. Replaced oil with that gas, or used the gas for transportation fuels and therefore lowered your imports of oil, we're talking about a savings in imports of about $200 billion a year or so. So this is a significant resource. It could make a very significant difference to the nation. Other countries have these kinds of resources. For example, there are shale gas resources in Poland and in Europe, and if those could be produced geopolitically, it would take a lot of the pressure that Russia has on Europe away, and would probably be a very good idea. So the first point is that it's a very significant resource.